All right. It's Friday, June 30th, the last day of the month. Can you believe this year is half over? 2023 is half over. This is Success Never Sleeps. I am Brannon, and welcome to the show where we, as a collective of martial arts school owners, small businesses, individuals, our goal is to live our best life, to be the best version of ourselves through disruption, through creating a business and a lifestyle that works for us. I think success is such a undefined variable, and what causes people a lot of suffering is when they simply want to replicate somebody else's success. That's why I'm so passionately about establishing what is your purpose, what is your why are you here in this world, and then working from there to cultivate your version of success. I can't tell you how often people live in a state of envy and jealousy because they see what somebody else has and they simply want to replicate and capture what somebody else has, when they don't recognize that person's version of success is not yours. And yes, success leaves clues, but make no mistake. Make no mistake. It's something you need to cultivate for yourself. As you're coming aboard, folks, please put in the comments, tell me your name, where you're tuning in from, and all that good stuff. And share it with people. We're live at YouTube and StreamYard, at Facebook. Share it with as many people as you can so we can spread the good word about Success Never Sleeps. I want to begin by thanking my sponsors. As always, we have Tusa, and they have a new karate division. And we were just having this discussion about it because they're offering a really great discount. I'll post it at the Disruptor group. Free setup for all your silk screens. They'll take care of that as well. And so everybody that's a disruptor that comes through me, they're going to offer you this special deal. So do look for it in the Disruptors group. I'll post it there. If not, DM me directly and reach out and we can have that conversation. We have Stephanie. Hey, what's up, Stephanie? How you doing? Where are you tuning in from, Stephanie? What's the name of your school? And all that good stuff. Market Muscle, Stephen Reinstein was out here a couple of weeks ago. And what a brilliant kid. I say he's a kid because I'm so much older than he is, but what just brilliance. And also a really good soul. If you get the opportunity to have a Market Muscles website, please do so. Please do so. It's powerful. And I really believe the philosophy of structuring your website properly, when you code it on the back end, and it's friendly to Google, they smile on you. A lot of people do their own homemade websites, and you're going to get buried. I don't know anybody that has a homemade website, one they've template driven off Wiki or something, that ranks really high. And if you do, then I'm happy to say, hey, I'm wrong, and we'll look at that data as well. But for me, I do understand that the majority of quality websites out there through a company like Market Muscles allows you the opportunity for better ranking. Cool. My studio. Somebody reached out and asked me about, do I use my studio? And I said, oh, yeah. I sit there and I have to tell people all the time, I'm not texting, I'm taking attendance, because we all take attendance through our phones. We just find the iPad a little cumbersome. So we'll take attendance through the phones. I had a mom want to buy a t-shirt the other day. I said, just take out your app, go into the shopping cart, buy a t-shirt, it's grab and go. When people sign up for memberships, because we don't have a front desk, at our locations on a regular basis. So I said, just, scan the QR code on the back of this handout and you download the app and everything's done through the app. Curriculum videos are there. Sign up for our free events like Parents Night Out and all those different things. So you do need a CRM system. If you're not using Market Muscles, My Studio, I highly recommend that you do so. Kids Love Life Skills. God, I watched posts come in from Switzerland the other day, Germany, Canada. Kids Love Life Skills is worldwide, and we're consistently growing. We love partnering with people that recognize life skills education is a very valuable component of what you do in your martial arts school. And somebody had posted from another agency that, people who teach life skills teach poor martial arts. I beg to differ. I think that's a lame excuse for that group not wanting to invest in life skills. What we can do better than soccer, gymnastics, basketball, or anything is to really incorporate, the Miyagi stuff that used to be there in Karate Kid into our martial arts, because synonymously they go hand in hand. There's a great TV show I did called Rebop. It's posted at YouTube, and my papa said that martial arts is 60% mental and 40% physical. And I believe that. The mind controls the body. And if you have a strong mind, you can definitely have a strong body. So partner with us at Kids Love Life Skills. We'd love to see you there. DM us now. Go to the website and let's make that connection. LC Accounting, my sister Letitia is a martial artist, jiu-jitsu, kenpo. She'll be testing for her black belt at It's Time Live Balance come November. You need somebody in your corner. I want to do a new awning at one of the locations, as well as a new box sign. It needs to be refurbished, refaced. I want to go LED. And so first thing I do is reach out to Letitia. Can we fund 10 grand right now? Is that cool? Right? Am I disrupting things with the summer day camp payroll, etc.? She said, no, we can do it. This is how you do it. Boom. I love that confidence because she looks at my numbers all the time. I look at my numbers from a bird's eye view. So I understand everything across the board, but she looks at it at a micro level. So when she says with a vote of confidence, get the awning done, get the light bucks done, it gives me the inertia to want to move forward. November 11th to 14th, Marco. I tell people all the time, this is where you need to be. We are in some very challenging times. We see lots of people opening new schools and things like that, but there are a lot of people that are challenged, very challenged by the economy, challenged by what's going on politically, socially, in the world. So we need to better prepare for 2024. And what's a better way to do that? There isn't. It's Time Live Balance. So I've kind of rounded out the mix. Dave Kovar will be there on day one. From after we observe classes on Saturday, the 11th, Dave Kovar will be there from 2 to 6 for an instructor's boot camp. My team has done it 4 times. To me, it is a staple in our industry that everybody should do. So everybody who comes to It's Time Live Balance for the 2-day or 4-day, you get Dave Kovar. He'll take care of the training. On Sunday, I'll handle all the business. After 35 years of running several different businesses successfully and consistently now with these 2 martial arts schools, my consulting, Kids Love Life Skills, I can honestly tell you I am a small business expert. And I'm going to give you every moving part you need to make 2024 the best ever. Adam Lodi. He's from Dojo Launch. I met him as we started rebranding his business. I work with him in Wisdom. He's part of my executive mentoring program. So I consult him. And it's a brilliant young group of guys between, 18 and their late 20s. And it was born out of their parents' business was basically demolished during the pandemic, their parents' martial arts school. Out of the love of wanting to save his parents' school, right? He had already been doing websites at 15, met Gary Vee at 17. So he's really into the whole digital media platform, and it's his thing. He saved his parents' business. Here we are now in 2023. His parents have 2 locations running around 500 members. One of his clients went from $10,000 to $100,000 a month in a matter of a couple of years. So we've been working closely as I help them rebrand their business and help them position themselves in that industry as something totally different. We're writing scripts together. If you get a chance to look at my commercials that I have floating around, I help co-write those scripts. I help do the B-rolls. We've had discussions. I think it's this template-driven stuff that's out there is not something I would advocate for. You need to present something very unique and customized to your school. I don't want to look at some stock footage of some pagoda in Japan and then I walk into your brick and mortar school in some strip mall. It just should not happen. It breeds distrust. So Adam will be there. And then, of course, if you're here for the 4-day event, Sam On's going to Zoom in. And I was looking the other day, I met with one of my financial people because I have several that I work with, and he was amazed how much money I have made in the stock market. He was just blown away. And this guy works with, multi-millions of dollars. And he went, wow, I can't believe you've done that in the stock market. Sam is brilliant, 127 students, multimillionaire. He recognized early on he didn't want to have multiple locations. So about 30 years ago, I believe, give or take, he became a student of the stock market, of investing wisely. So Sam will be here virtually on Tuesday for a couple of hours. So I'm encouraging you, don't miss the 4-day event. I think we've really balanced it. The personal development we do on Monday together will really help set you up for success in 2024. So put the link in there for everybody, Marco. Again, as you're coming aboard, let us know where you're tuning in from. We got Resilient Martial Arts. Who else do we have? Stephanie's from Gold Martial Arts. Anybody else there? Say hi. So that one of the things we're starting to do with the show that I think is super cool is we're bringing on school owners, right? Real time, ask me questions. I do this all the time, paid, unpaid. I just love helping, paying forward, giving it back, as well as, creating this consulting company that I have that does quite well. So I think it's just fun. It's just fun. I want everyone to be successful. I believe, like Franklin Covey said, if you want to be successful, help somebody else be successful. So we want to welcome in from Goals Martial Arts, Mr. Bob Poole. Hey, Bob, what's happening, sir? Oh, I don't hear him. He's out again. Let's get your audio going, Bob, because you're gone.
Here, I'm doing fantastic.
There you are. All right, sir. What's happening?
Just having fun. Classes last night went fantastic. I just love teaching.
Well, and I think that's important. I just found love again for it. One of my guys are on paternity leave, and so I decided to get in there and teach because we're revamping the curriculum. So I felt, what's better way to see the holes in our game, what we're doing really well, what needs to be changed, what needs to be taken out completely, what needs to be moved up to a higher level or a lower level. And so I do, man, I love teaching. I love it. I do. I really do. I can't believe I can say that after these many years, but through teaching consistently again over the past couple months, 5 days a week, I have discovered a whole new passion. So I'm with you on that. So tell me, how are things going at Goals Martial Arts?
Going well, going well. I actually just revamped a lot of the katas to reflect what we're doing in class. Because I used to do a lot of the Kempo katas, short one, short two, things like that. But I tried to gear it more towards what we're doing, because sometimes the younger kids can't get the techniques that are in, let's say, short three or long three.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, and then we make sure we rely on when we punch. We punch as high as your eye, kick as high as your waist. Just things that reinforce everything, as opposed to trying to give them a grandiose technique that they have to memorize. I'd rather see them do not so much memorize. I want to see them be able to perform, be able to throw a punch.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, we took some Kenpo forms that were in white belt, and they sit in year 4 now, Bob. That's how complicated they were.
Yeah.
We're now a year 4 kata. And of course, my Kenpo constituents said, wow, that's blasphemous. You can't do that. I said, it was just horrible to try to teach a white belt this kata. Now teaching it to a year 4 student, their comprehension, the fun, the practical application, all of it is just so much better. So I feel you on that. We actually developed some really simple katas for that age group that had the fundamentals of Kenpo. We teach them a back fist, right? A back fist is a Kenpo technique all day, every day. And so we teach that early on, right? So we're an advocate for the values of Kenpo, but you're right. I mean, you've got to simplify things, because if we're just about memorization, right, instead of learning and comprehension, there's nothing inspiring about that. It's like, let's go to freaking history. And on my sophomore year, remember a bunch of useless information, get an A. And as soon as that class is over, what do you do?
Yeah.
Forget it all. Forget it all, right? Hey, so Goals Martial Arts is a really interesting name, and I know you have a few questions, and we're going to get to that. But, it just touched me because, I'm big on the rebrand, and I know I've inspired you. You've watched our show like forever, loyally, and then we finally got to meet in Boston, and I thought that was really cool. But what was most touching, I mean, my big moment with you in Boston was the story you shared about how Goals became the name of your school. Just share that with everybody.
So I started training karate in around 1992. Love training. I used to help teach a little bit. And I used to work for different schools. And while I was doing that, my mom had lung cancer. And she had always told me she wanted to start her own candy business, because she used to do it on the side with my aunt. People would put in orders, she'd make it, stuff, but she always wanted to start her own business. Always wanted to start her own business. And she passed in 2007. And I said to myself, I'm like, I always think about my mom, like I was telling you, with my logo, the colors are purple, my mom's favorite color.
I love it.
Gray,
I love it.
It's for lung cancer.
I love it.
My mom's incorporated into my logo.
Then the beauty of that is, whether you have a good day or a bad day, whether you make money or don't make money, I know you step on that mat with your mom's memory in your heart and soul. I know you teach every child, every student with that same love and that goal of your mom wanting to create her own business. And
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, Jim Carrey said that. He said, and this is a little off the subject, but still within that vein, that you should be as rich and as famous as I have been
Mhm.
to understand money does not make you happy. Right? I mean, money's a
Absolutely.
tool, money's a vehicle, but if you simply step on that mat to make money, if you simply close people and sign a deal, you will never create that type of soulful, purpose that you have with honoring your mom with Gold's martial arts. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh, 100%. In fact, I started Open Up Goals in 2008. And in the beginning, I really didn't know what I was doing, but I knew I was doing well. I was making money. And I said to myself, I'm like, oh, all this money I'm making is awesome. And then I had another, I don't think I talked to you about it. I had another thing happen. We had my first son, Emmett, in 2010. And then at 6 months old, he passed away.
You didn't tell me that.
So he passed away in February of 2011. And I, it was bananas where I was working a full time job. I was teaching. If it wasn't for my assistants, I don't know what I would have done. I had a lot of young kids, like junior, I'm trying to think, like eighth, ninth graders step up to the plate and help me teach classes while I was going through everything. But with the passing of my mom and the passing of my son, it actually changed my view on martial arts. Whereas before, like I said, it was good. I'm like, oh, I'm making money. Now I'm like, it's not about that. I just want to make a difference in kids' lives because my son Emmett had grown up at the school. He was there every day.
Hmm.
And then after that, I'm like, you know what? I was like, it's time. Buckle down. It's not about that. If I make money, awesome. But I'm more interested in giving back to the kids.
Yeah, I feel you. I walk into our day camp, in the afternoon to teach classes for the evening, and these kids greet me, and I love it. When these kids come up to me, there's no war in Ukraine. There's no
Mhm.
freaking fires coming in from Canada. There's none of this mass shootings. These kids are just so on point, and they keep me hopeful and they keep me humble. And they really, I mean, the higher purpose that children offer us is really powerful. And yeah, I feel you on that, sir. I do. And the byproduct is for us, we're having a record year. I mean, we're
Mhm.
having our best year ever in business, ever. How does that happen, post pandemic? And it really is doing the right thing, teaching from love, teaching from purpose. And can you write that into a system? I don't know, but I believe if we write that system with the intent, in your case, to fulfill that honor of your mom and Emmett and your goal, that system's going to be badass, and they will hold that system at a heart level.
The
I was
one thing I
working.
do, the one thing I do like to do is with my 3, 4, 5-year-old class.
Mhm.
Before we start, I sit down and I would just talk to them. Hey, would you do this week? You
Mhm.
do anything over the weekend, like mess around, like you guys cooking hot dogs?
Yeah.
And it
Yeah.
got to the point where instead of sitting around me, all of them were sitting on my lap, and I was just like they were my own kids, and just they make me laugh, and just I have so much fun
That's a
teaching
good thing. That's a good thing. And I'm glad you rebranded. I'm glad. I mean, how long have you been following me and watching the show? Long time, right?
them. Where at least I'm trying to think, pandemic was at least 2018, 2019.
Wow. Wow. And we just met this year. How
Yeah.
cool is that? All right. So give me your questions, man. What's your first question?
So the one is I taught in Philadelphia up until the pandemic. Now my one of my students runs my affiliate school in Philadelphia. I run a school in Delaware County, which is a suburb, and in Philadelphia when I was teaching, the kid it was a rough neighborhood, and the kids used to get in a lot of fights. And parents would come into me, they would say they're getting bullied in school, they're getting beat up in school, their kids are following them on the way home. So I noticed how I taught when I was teaching Philadelphia, but once I started in the suburbs, I wasn't teaching the same way because it didn't seem like I had to. Whereas it doesn't seem as though where I'm teaching now, there's as much troubles or street fights or anything like that. So I'm kind of teaching, I'm not going to say softer, but more, I'm trying to think, more deliberate with how I'm teaching.
So what's the question, Bob?
Is that normal to in different neighborhoods? Because I know you have two different schools. Is it normal to teach the same curriculum but teach it in a different way?
You know, I have a great saying that I always say, would my grandma be okay with it? So you ask yourself, would your mom be okay with it?
I think she would, yes.
Then that's the short answer and the most heartfelt answer. But really, I grew up in the streets. It's so funny. My daughter and I were at the mall one day, and I ran into an old gang member, right? Somebody that I ran in a gang, and he had been sick with cancer, a heart attack, and he goes, "They did nothing. Remember the 2 times I got shot and I got stabbed?" And my daughter's looking at me like, "You know this guy? You know that freaking guy?" And no amount of martial arts is going to help you when you face cancer. You can't kick and punch your way out of that. Right? No amount of martial arts, physical martial arts, is going to help you when someone has cyberbullied you to the point where a 13-year-old girl is going to wake up and decide my best choice is to kill myself. No amount of kicking and punching is going to help you when you're applying for the most important college of your life, right? No amount of martial arts are going to help you when a girl breaks your heart. So I believe both need to happen. They do. But I understand in the very dangerous environment we live in today, when I grew up, to a certain point, later on guns came into play. But we would get in a fight and then after go get a twin popsicle and share it together, right? With somebody in the neighborhood. It was that simple. You would fight and then you'd be done with it. Nowadays you fight, someone go gets their cousin, they shoot up your family. It's a whole different level. Not to mention we as martial artists, if we get into a fight, we're just in trouble. It's like a police officer off duty shooting somebody. I don't care whether you're good at martial arts or not. The bottom line is on the surface, you teach martial arts as a living. You should know better. You should have better control. I had a friend that went to jail because he was a martial artist and had gotten into a physical altercation. And the judge said, "You're a martial artist. You should know better."
I've had experiences like that where I told you I worked for the school district. I'd be at the high school and there'd be a fight, and they say, "You going to go and break that up?" Nope.
Yeah.
Nope. A, it's not my job, and B, gosh forbid I hurt somebody. Nope.
Well, and vice versa. I had a really, really good friend who was a great point fighter, Marvin Mozique. I remember him. God rest his soul. He was down at Fisherman's Wharf in San Francisco. He was just there with his girlfriend or some friends. Some guy tried to steal a woman's purse. He chased down the guy, and he got stabbed. And died right there and freaking died right there. So again, I know we need to be good Samaritans and we need to be supportive and all that, but we need to be mindful that the terrain is much different. So the yin to the yang of that is the terrain has escalated in violence in many ways. There's a huge movement in the martial arts industry to teach you to kill people, to teach you. And I'm sorry, anything short of me being curled up in a fetal position, being kicked in the head by 4 guys and having to find my way up and out to run, because it's not a movie. They don't come one at a time. They go. I don't know if anything we're doing truly replicates true self-defense.
Yeah.
Because it can be stopped. There's a safe word. We're in a school. But just that feeling of survival when I was curled up in a fetal position and 4 guys are kicking me in the head and the body and the adrenaline's pumping and you actually hit that level where you go, I could die here. And you're fighting to stand up and run. That's crazy. So I think we need to give people the sense of peace of mind by giving them a skill set and tools. But at the end of the day, I don't believe there's a right or wrong. The best UFC fighter can get knocked out in the street. So I'm not sure. I think it comes down to personal preference and what you believe in your own personal values is good for your school or not good for your school.
The one thing we do at my school, my instructor used to call it the line of death. What we do is I'll line up 3 students on one side, 3 on the other, and I'll have one student turn their back and I'll give a tax to certain kids. So the person has to walk down the line of death and they get a tag.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I was telling them, I'm like, it's not about doing a technique perfect. It's about reacting, not freezing. So I try to get the kids in the mode that if they get attacked, it doesn't matter what they do, just don't freeze.
Yeah.
Some kids do fantastic with it, some kids struggle.
Yeah, but I would rework that. The line of death is not very inviting or encouraging.
I don't call it that in class, but that's what.
Yeah, I would do that. I mean, we have lots of names like that, and you know, I think really, again, from growing up in the streets, I have many friends that are either dead or in jail that could fight. I have friends that don't do martial arts that could kick most people's behinds because they're just street fighters, right?
Yeah.
They're used to that environment and they embrace it, and it's so normal to them. Even the most skilled martial artists wouldn't stand a chance against a seasoned street fighter because that street fighter is fighting all the time in the street. So for me, that's a real mute point. Again, if your mom's cool with it, if you know your mom's cool with it, do what you do. Because if we spend our time as an industry, people arguing my ego claw is better than your tiger kung fu, I teach real self-defense, you know, you're just a life skills sissy. If we spend our time in that, we as an industry will always be at the bottom of the barrel. And we are. You know, we're for an industry, how many people do martial arts out of the population? Not a lot. Not a lot. It's a very, very small number. And I think everybody should do martial arts. Next question, Bob.
So in the Philly school way back in the day, I used to do birthday parties.
Yeah.
And I used to have, like, say, you're cutting a cake with a big sword.
Yeah.
And I would supply all the plates and cups and everything. Now, me and my wife were talking, and she came up with an idea. She's like, why don't you go to them? Like, say, they can hire me, and it's a bad example, like a clown. Like, I come to a birthday party, and I teach karate to all the kids, and then when they're leaving, I supply the snack bags, and it has my business card and some karate things in it.
Yeah, I think it's an innovative idea. You know, I used to do singing telegrams like that when I was a musician, a struggling musician. I've had requests for people to want us to come out and do that. What needs to happen, see, because I hear what you're saying, that's a great way to market and get new leads and new students. But the minute we take that position, we're going to execute from that position. You know, I have a birthday tomorrow in Millbrae, and it's $750 for 2 hours.
Yeah, I was seeing that. And we had talked about it. He said it's got to get paid up front, so they reserve the date. And
right, but I mean, listen to me, Bob. $750. That's what, 3 students or 4 students for a whole month of classes. So what we did do with that birthday party is we stopped trying to do a birthday party as a way to generate leads. You know, and I first learned this when I went to another martial arts school with my son. He was 4 years old, and I took him to martial arts school for a birthday party. And you know, every other drill.
Give me 1 second.
That's fine.
I'm listening.
Take that dog out. So, folks, every other drill was simply drill. And today at Johnny's birthday party, if you sign up for martial arts classes, you're going to get this. Another drill, another drill. And today, you know, we have this special offer for all the birthday attendees. If you sign up today, drill,
I've
drill,
been at
drill.
parties like that.
Yeah. And then I'm sitting there against the wall with my cell phone doing this, just kind of clicking. And the guy comes up to me with a clipboard. Hi, how you doing today? You ever think about enrolling in martial arts? And I just went, dude, I'm just with my son. I just brought him to this birthday party. You know, I said, no, thank you. Do I have permission to come bother you again in a few minutes? No, get the hell away from me. And so I found it to be really cheesy, but I get it. If you're giving free birthday parties in your school and supplying the pizza and the cake, what parent, what student in your school is going to squawk at you for making it a sales fest? Nobody will. So what we did do is organically taking our kids to all these different birthday venues, the bouncy house, the trampoline place, We asked ourselves, what can we do really well? And what can't we do? I don't have a trampoline. I don't have the rat, you know, but what can I do well? So we created a premium birthday party, which truly highlights and spotlights the birthday celebrant, which features family time, and just the Disney things. The minute you walk through that door, we greet you on a microphone, music's playing, there's dodgeball. We take the gift from you. We help them unload the car when they first arrive, and it's custom decorations. We create this premium product. I mean, premium product that I believe people would pay us $1,000 for. And as we begin to, nurture things post-pandemic, we will go up to that. We raised it from $550 to $750, and nobody batted an eye.
Mm-hmm.
So, but first thing we took out of the mix was no more selling at these birthday parties, no more trying to get leads from these birthday parties. Let's just make the most memorable, the best birthday party that competes with everybody else out there. And we did. And I think that's powerful. Just like my confidence building workshop. I went to an elementary school and got paid $1,500 instead of doing it for free because I'm trying to get leads. So I think if you rework that, Bob, yes, you can go out to people's homes and do that. But if you do it through the lens of I want to get leads, pure and simple, you're going to lose. You're just going to lose. You're going to lose. I think there's also the angst, and everybody says that to me about our cotton candy machines. What's your ROI? What's your ROI? What's your return on investment for those cotton candy? How much per cotton candy you give out do you get a return on? I said, dude, that's the wrong approach. It's just wrong. It's goodwill. It's giving back to the community. It's positioning our business. As they say, nobody cares what you know until they know that you care. Mm-hmm. So again, it's a mindset shift. But as long as I live in that state of fear, where it's about getting people to buy into what I do, nobody will ever believe in me. Because I don't want you to buy into it, Bob. I want you to believe. And I think at Goals Martial Arts, isn't that what you want to do? You want people to believe in what you do, not buy into it. And anytime we take the sales approach, ROI, we're always going to live in that realm of salesmen, So, and it's not bad to sell. People get that wrong, right? People get that wrong. But I really believe that if we do what we're supposed to do, and we'll attract the right people into our space. Next question.
What are other, like, for example, at Halloween, I do Halloween board breaking. Like, I was looking for maybe different avenues of producing some more revenue. Like, I have the kids dress up in their Halloween costume and they'll break boards, usually the day before Halloween. And I used to tell the parents, listen, I know the kids are only going to wear the costume once. There's an opportunity to get your money's worth with the costumes. Because I know my sons, we would spend a ton of money. They'd wear it once. So I'm like, come out here, break some boards, and we'll have a Halloween party afterwards. But in addition to that, I really haven't explored much as far as more revenue generators.
Well, and there is an opportunity there. For us, we utilize the Halloween party as a retention event. We made a huge shift this year. The dad and me party, the mom and me party, parents' night out. So everything we do is strictly family oriented for retention. Now, make no mistake, we'll have the kindergarten meet and greet this summer, right? Because the kindergartners know nobody when they leave their preschool and go.
I heard you talking about that before.
Yeah, really So the kindergarten meet and greet is a community event. We won't sell anything. We're just planting seeds. And I have season tickets to the Warriors. Well, I get a pack of like 20 games. And what does Chase Center have to do with the Warriors? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. It's subliminal marketing. It's partnering with a really great organization. And through that, organically, people are creating a brand awareness for Chase. So I'm very big on that. I'm not big on salesmanship. They don't sell you anything. You walk up to the stadium, big sign says Chase. You're in there, you use your Chase credit card, you get a 30% discount on food. But they don't sit there and bash you over the head. So the one thing we do during Halloween is we will get a little bag of M&Ms, and we put a rack card on it with a QR code. With a Halloween looking thing, this is good for one free class. We give them a bag of candy with our thing stapled to the bag of M&Ms, and we also give them a free bag of candy. So when our parents take this, they go, why are you giving me a bag with nothing on it? That's just our way of saying thank you. So really, the yin and the yang of salesmanship, if I just gave them a bag with rack cards attached to it, it's strictly a sales technique. But the minute I give them a free bag with nothing on it, it changes the whole vibe. So that works really, really well for us. really well for us.
We have a thing. I don't know if you have it out in on the West Coast. It's called trunk or treat.
Yeah, yeah, we have them.
I
So yeah, my
I love.
clients, all of the school owners I work with do trunk or treats. We actually did 2 of them for the first time this year because, people are still a little scared because of the pandemic. So a couple of the elementary schools. So we pulled my wife's SUV right there onto the school ground, which I thought was brilliant. But you know what? We had badass bags of candy. My wife went to town. I mean, the average person's giving out, little sweet tarts and shit like that. No, we gave out. I mean, like, babe, each bag must have cost us $3 easily worth of candy, and they were blown away.
We were giving out
Yeah,
airheads, the big ones.
yeah.
But what we my wife actually found a blow up karate skeleton. I did not put up anything for goals, just a huge blow up, and it attracted so many kids.
Sure, sure.
And we
Just like
handed
whenever
out
we do
crazy.
a booth, we always have a bubble machine.
Mhm.
Kids love bubbles.
That's what I need to get
Yeah.
next.
And we get the electric one because it blows out a whole lot more bubbles. It just brings kids into the booth. I had a little, JBL speaker playing Halloween music, just very fundamental things nobody else was doing. And they wondered why our line was so long for candy, right? They could go to any of these cards and get candy. But, we decked out the thing. We added music. We added bubbles, anything that is kid friendly. And somebody criticized us once for that and said, this has nothing to do with martial arts. I said, well, nobody's here to buy martial arts. This is a fair. This is a farmer's market. This is a trunk or treat. What do you want me to do? Have the demo team out here and you want a bag of candy? You must give me your name and email. If you want a bag of candy, right? Your name and email. I must capture your lead. You want a free bag of candy? You must, again, I think it destroys the whole thing. It really, really does. And once we took that off the plate, because our purpose is live your best life. And if I'm strictly there for a community event, I can only live my best life if I'm serving the community. And that's been a very powerful shift because when I first came into the industry 23 years ago, I get it. Everything was, retention, revenue generate. How do you get new leads? How do you get new leads? Nerf blaster night, this, and everything is geared towards that. We have found organically by really positioning ourselves in the community as a business who cares and gives back, that organically we're getting more students than we can imagine. And that's powerful. But I get it. Tesla's never done any advertising until now. They're going to start doing some.
Isn't that crazy?
But it's not. But it's not. It's not because that's disruptive behavior, Bob, right? Disruption is that doesn't fit my values. Yeah, well, you're not going to grow or make money. We have proven data that says if you do this, you will. Well, I want to go to sleep at night and feel good about who I am. I want to honor my mom. I want to honor goals. I want to honor all of it. I'm not going to be some used car salesman. I refuse. Well, then you'll fail. Well, look at me. We're having our best year ever. We're closing in. We're going to end up right now looking at the first half of the year. We're going to do 2.1 million between 2 locations. How do you do that? But we're very values based. Live your best life. We got to do the right thing. We got to treat people right. We just live by a very clear set of standards, and we put the most of our money into our team and into improving our curriculum and our environment. That's it. That's it. We don't spend a whole lot of money on digital marketing or all the rest. We simply don't. So, I think when you think about Halloween or any of those other events, just look at it through the lens of, would my mom be okay with this?
Mhm.
And I keep referring to that, Bob, because culturally, that's where Gold's Martial Arts was born out of.
Yeah.
So I would make sure my core values, my purpose statement, everything. I would even be so bold as to hang a nice picture of my mom, in the school with a little spotlight on it. It could be one of the touch points. Imagine doing a school tour. And, as you're showing this part of the school or that, you stop at that picture of your mom. The real purpose behind Goals Martial Arts was because of my mom, who passed away of cancer. And her goal was to open up, her own business. And I honor that today with Goals Martial Arts.
I like that.
Right? From my family to yours. I don't see a better emotional connection than that. I simply don't. It's better than we are a family martial arts center, a black belt school, and teach focus and discipline. There's no story there. There isn't. But you have a really compelling, heartfelt story that's true and it's authentic, and it's one I would really work towards amplifying. Next question.
My wife asked me to ask this one. Tournaments. In fact, we're going to Monique's tournament in September. And when we do our forms, I do a lot of traditional katas, but it seems like they're hit and miss. Like, what type of katas, or how would you look at going to a tournament, how to present the forms? Like,
Well, I mean, when we say traditional, right, there are tournaments that are strictly Poomsae and they're traditional Taekwondo, and you don't do it the way it was designed thousands of years ago, you get downgraded. There's no flips. There's none of it. You do a good, in Japan, the people that do Japanese forms are rock stars. You ever see the synchronized Japanese forms?
I
Like
have.
for people, it's badass. It's so amazing. And there's no flips and all the rest. It's just a really fundamentally sound kata. So don't most of these tournaments you go to have a division for Kenpo?
A lot of the schools, I used to go to a lot of Kempo tournaments. But in my area, it seems like all the Kempo schools just went away.
Well, yeah, but at NASCAR and all the rest, don't they have a Kenpo division, or you have to go to the open division?
You have to go to all the open division.
Yeah, well, that's
Just
hard.
say,
I mean,
I'll
but
go to
you
short.
know, but we understand in the open division nowadays, unless you've got tornado kicks and backflips and all the rest, that's the industry standard. It really is, sir. It's the industry standard. So you can't compete with that. So you're setting up your kids for failure. There is no way they can compete with that, because if I'm sitting there judging an open forms division, I'm looking for the person doing the most complex acrobatics, tied into some type of 540 or 720. I mean, that's it. I'm not going to sell air conditioners in Alaska. I am not going to take first place in an open forms division with my traditional Kenpo form. It just will not happen, sir.
In fact, one of my students did Nahachi for a tournament, killed it, looked off, best I've ever seen it.
Yep.
And she didn't place.
Yep. There you go. Well, that's what I'm saying. If I want an elephant to fail, I'm going to ask it to climb a tree. I don't care how perfect they do that Kenpo form. There is a standard that people look for in open forms. You're screaming really loud. You're yelling at the judges, that whole and flipping and flying, go, go, Power Rangers, right? And I get it. I love watching it. I couldn't do that. I admire that. I think it's very complex. It's such athleticism at a whole nother level. But that does not downgrade or degrade, the beauty and art of a traditional Japanese or Kenpo form. Again, if there aren't those divisions, don't set up your kids for failure. We do our own inter-school tournaments because we have 950 students between two locations. So when they get together, it's like 400 or 500 competitors. That's more than some of the local tournaments have here.
That's another thing I'll tell you about inter-school tournaments. The thing that worries me sometimes is, even if I took myself out of the picture as far as judging, people might get upset that their kid didn't get first place as opposed to another kid from the same school. I'm in for building relationships, and I don't want something like that to ruin a relationship.
Yeah. Life is competitive. It happens in class. If a kid's not ready to fail, they're not ready to succeed, right? I mean, I'm okay with the participation trophies when you're T-ball and 4, 5, 6-year-olds. At some point, you got to realize, right? There's first place. That's it. That's the winner. Everybody else is extra credit. Nobody gives a crap who took the silver or bronze. Nobody cares who's the last guy who runs in from the marathon. The guy getting all the endorsements, the guy who does the best is the one who gets the gold medal. We have to recognize that at some point. I don't know what anybody does in my community as far as martial arts schools, but I do know we dominate our industry in our communities. That's it. I mean, and that's what we strive to do. The only person we're in competition is with ourselves. And if the earmark of excellence for me is first place, so be it. If the earmarks of excellence is doing my best, like your student did, and not placing at all, so be it. You set that mark. but I don't do it based upon what Joe Karate does down the street or what some, favoritism because somebody brings 1,000 students to every damn tournament. So their students organically all win the tournament. And we've all seen that too, right?
Yeah, I've seen that happen.
We did that. We took our kids to a tournament. Nobody knew who we were. None of my guys placed. I think 2 or 3 did, but it's the people that put the most money into the tournament because the tournament's a business, is it not? Yep. So whether there's anybody in your division or not, you still get first place, don't you?
Yeah.
Now, when I grew up, if there weren't enough competitors, they rolled my division into another division.
Oh, yeah.
Because you had to have at least a minimum of 10 to 15 people. I had somebody that was going to tournaments in my school, and she was ranked number 1. And I said, how can that be? The only time you ever compete is grand champion. She goes, well, there's nobody in my division, so I automatically get first place. I said, and you don't do a kata or anything? No, I just have to do it for grand champion. I go, well, that's lame. That's lame, but I get it. It's a business. I bought this trophy. Here's this division. The trophy cost me $10 or the medal cost me $5 and you paid me $75. That's a win for me, right? Yeah. So I get that. So I'm not against, it's so funny. I'm working with a school right now. They asked me, can we do both? Can we do tournaments and be a successful school? I said, absolutely. As long as on a Saturday, you don't close your school completely to go to a tournament. You have somebody running your school, making money, serving the community, and you got somebody to go to the tournaments. And I don't want to look at your schedule where every prime slot Monday through Friday is dominated by a competition team with 10 people on it when you have 140 other members that are can't make the schedule because all the prime slots are taken by the competition team. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah, the competition can show up whenever you say. Be here Sunday at 8:30 at night. They'll all be there because they want to compete. So you don't need to set up your school centering around the percentage where most schools will tell you this. The smallest percentage of the people in their school do competitions.
The one thing I do like is the past couple tournaments we've gone to have been on Sundays.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I mean, all of it's cool. Again, if I'm losing money to go to your tournament, that is not a good day. It's not. And you're concerned about 2 of your students competing in an inter-school tournament, creating animosity, throw them to the wolves of some of these open tournaments where there's nepotism. I bet your student was bummed out. They did the best they could, and they didn't even place. Because you set them up for failure, sir. You put them in an open division, and that's not the standard. It's like putting her in a weapons division, doing an open form with no weapon. There's no way she can even compete, right? Mm-hmm. There's no way. And I understand that. So if there's not a good Kempo division, don't go.
100% understand.
Okay, well, one more question. Go ahead.
All right. When we teach, we just started doing life skills.
Good.
We love doing the life skills.
Good.
Kids love it. I'll say match that, and the kids all go running. The stories that I tell stories as opposed to saying, make sure you're honest, don't lie. Like I'll tell a story with honesty kind of laced into it, where it makes the kids have to think about it. Is that how yours is set up?
No, not at all. Because we have 17, 15-year-olds delivering that live talk. So when it comes to that, because we also have a time constraint. I know me, when I start telling a story, Bob, I could be gone for the next 20 minutes. So it's a very tight scripted live talk because we want to make sure we get to our curriculum. They're earning their stripes, so our classes are tight. We even have a clock on the wall with a second hand by the seconds so that when they're doing the warm up, 30 seconds of jumping jacks, 30 seconds of push-ups, and they're looking at that clock. And if I ever look in on a class, 8 minutes in, they're not working on curriculum and they're still doing the live talk, there's a discussion in staff training. Everything needs to be tight and right. So no, but would I take that story, and you have so many, Bob, and create a blog at my website so that it's dynamic and my website's always being updated, which you should be doing anyway with photos, a blog, different things like that, so that Google says, this isn't a dead website. Here's a static website. Nothing's been updated for 5 years. Yuck. Google doesn't like that. So we'll go in and change a picture. I'll go in and change a header. I'll go in. But if you Google, as we learned in Boston from Lorenzo, I have the #1 martial arts blog at Google. I have no keywords. Remember, he was saying, hey, you got no keywords and no backlinks and all these tricks that everybody does to get ranked. Yet, I have the #1 martial arts blog at Google that's non-paid. It's because I produce good content. And I think you have a lot of great content. That for me would be a story that you write and put into your blog about honesty. That's a story I would put in my e-newsletter each month. I have a professor's corner which instills the culture and promotes my stories. So I have a professor's corner. I write it in the newsletter, which everybody should be doing a newsletter via Constant Contact or MailChimp every month. Every month. You know, and it shouldn't just simply be buy these nunchucks, pay for bell testing. No, no, no. You know, it's like everything. You want to make sure it's rich with good content that endears them to the culture of your goals martial arts. And so have your own corner there, Bob, where you do your thing. And then, of course, you know, taking a story about honesty and dividing it into 4 or 5 little social media posts, you could do a reel with that. Imagine, because a reel is what, 90 seconds. So you have it there. You can even put it on a freaking, you know, teleprompter. There's so many apps, and you're talking into your phone doing a reel, reading this thing. The first reel is the first paragraph of that honesty story. The next reel is the second one. And third, Facebook reels are so untapped. Instagram reels are saturated, but Facebook reels are still untapped, right? Are still untapped. So that'd be a great place. So I'm not saying don't do it. I just don't think in a tightly scripted class that should begin on time and end on time that we should have that type of, you know, because what if some 15-year-old goes off on honesty and says he lied to his mom, his friend stuck marijuana in his pocket, and then he lied to his mom and said it was his so his friend didn't get in trouble. Yeah, I had a guy one time, a full-grown adult who had got into a fender bender before class. We were on focus, and he's talking to a bunch of 6-year-olds, you know, about how the other guy should have focused and there would have been no fender bender. And so we had a conversation. I said, sir, in this case, stick to the script. Do the live talk as we've practiced in staff training. So I know that's a little long-winded, but my papa could lecture for hours, sir. And parents were pissed. They needed to go home at the end of class, you know, and my dad's talking away because he didn't care. Right? He didn't care. He didn't care. So there's a question there. Is a website necessary for my martial arts business? Absolutely.
I would say yes, 100%.
100%. At 100%, 100%. And again, you know, I'm not a huge advocate. I have my own full-time web designer, and we don't rank as high as Market Muscles. Market Muscles has every infrastructure on the back end to create a structurally sound website that Google goes, yay, even right down to Google fonts. Native, they understand how to design a website. Because if the algorithm's searching and they get to some jack, you know, wiki site that you made through a template, you know, and it's got backlinks and broken links and all this other stuff, it's going to lower your ranking. You want to have a well-constructed website. And so you absolutely need a website. I would never use a website in Facebook purely, you know, like some people do. They use their landing page as a website, you know, because I go to Facebook, I look at your thing, my friend messages me, and I'm off. I'm off and running, and I'm off your little website that you've built in Facebook. It's something you should budget for, and it's something you should be hugely invested in updating on a regular basis. Any other questions as we wrap this up with Bob? We still got about 7 minutes on the show. If you got a question, please put it in me. I would appreciate that. What's up, Ricardo? Monique is here. Who else is here hanging out with us today?
I'll be seeing Monique in September.
Yep. Oh, you're going to see Monique where?
Tournament she's having at her school, September 9th.
Oh, good.
We'll get some of my girls down.
Yep. Yep. And that's always cool too. I think that's a huge thing I would advocate for as well. Anytime we can do tournaments. See, the purpose of tournaments is to compete against people you don't train with regularly, right? And so San Francisco and Millbrae works perfectly. We get 200 from each location. That never, I have black belts. I've never trained in San Francisco. I've only tested. So these students never see each other. So if you can go to Monique's school and do that, I think it's awesome. Monique's here too. She's listening on the show from Karate for Girls in Maryland. So if you guys got any questions for us about what we're talking today, from birthday parties to Halloween to, you know, really defining if you want to be a competitive school or not, all these things are real questions because we all have our own version of martial arts. And some people believe you have to teach gun defense. Okay, great. Wonderful. Some people believe they're not going to teach sparring at all and just do poomsays. Again, it's whatever you think is best. Do I believe one is better than the other? No. No, it's not. No, it's not. I mean, you just have to decide what works for you. Really, what works for you? And that's all it comes down to. And so I think once we can grow past that type of debate, and that's why, the guys that wiggle their fingers and the guy falls down without touching you, I'm not, I'm not an advocate for that. I mean, I've never wiggled my fingers in front of anyone while they were punching me in the face and it stopped them, right? I haven't. I haven't. And, you know, but I'm not going to publicly, well, I guess I just did. I wouldn't sit there and create a whole website and post videos constantly, spending my time and effort day in and day out, like I'm the martial arts, narc, and I have to expose people that aren't teaching true martial arts. Okay. I mean, I don't want to spend my time doing that, but I get it. I get why people look at that and go, okay, right? It's a crime. Well, okay, sure, sure, if that's what you believe. But I believe we would be better served if we just simply stay in our lane and work on our stuff. That's all we do. I don't know what anybody does in our community. I don't look at the other martial arts schools. I don't know what they charge, any of it. Any of it. I'm too busy wiping the poo-poo off my shoes to criticize you for the poo-poo on yours, right? I mean, that's it. Like they say, he who hath no sin be the first to cast a stone. Not my gig. Just not my gig. So be mindful of that, people. I think that's one of the biggest ills that plague our industry today, and it continues to just manifest. I think it's almost 10x now. I see more and more, different people taking a stance like that for likes or views, or I'm not sure, what's the reason for that, but it seems to be a huge trend right now. People calling out other martial artists and their rank and all the rest. When the day's done, I wish somebody cared I was an 8th-degree black belt, Bob. I wish they cared my daddy had a school for 50 plus years that just recently closed. I wish they cared. Nobody cares. They don't. They don't even care what style I teach. I'll get the occasional BJJ guy come and go, I want to learn jujitsu, but the majority of moms have never, ever asked, what do you teach? What are your credentials? How long have you done martial arts? But I love to tell the story. And so at our website and everything else, we share that quite passionately.
That's the importance of having a website to piggyback off that question from earlier.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely, Bob. So I want to thank you for being here, my brother.
Absolutely.
It was nice to meet you. Again, thanks for sharing that heartfelt story about Emmett. If you had told me that in Boston, I would have given you a big hug, sir.
He's my little buddy.
Yeah, I think it's powerful what you do and what you have to say, and I'm sure your mom is extremely proud. Keep up the good work. If you have more questions about Kids Love Life Skills, just reach out to the team. Marco, Letitia, Ben, they'll all be happy to help you implement that completely.
All right. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Bob. Thank you for being here, sir.
See you next week.
Absolutely. So, folks, for me, the opportunity to share time with school owners like this is who we are. To be able to create a martial arts school that's rooted in the memory of my mom, that's just so cool. That's so cool. And I hope Bob chooses to put up a little photo of his mom on the wall there with a spotlight on it and let it be a talking point. Say below, Girls Martial Arts was born out of my mom's dream, her goal of one day having her own business. Well, it was never recognized because my mom passed away from cancer. But I continue her legacy and dream today. And we do that with Gold's Martial Arts. That's so cool. And again, I don't think it's a sales point. I think it's a purpose-driven point. So when we talk about utilizing it on a school tour, it's very heartfelt, isn't it? It's not, $19.99 for 3 classes and a uniform. No, you're talking about something very dear to you, something very heartfelt. And that's just amazing to me. So please, when you're cultivating your brand and you're writing your purpose statement, your core values, where does it come from? And I'm out there teaching 5 days a week again after not doing so for close to a decade. I have found a whole new love and respect for what I've done as a martial artist and what I continue to do today. But I had made a choice. I had a great team and I was raising babies. My kids are 11 and 14 now, right? So like I shared the past decade, right? And that's about right. 0 to 10 years old, one's 14, one's 11. So I'm just in that position today to teach again. And I feel so blessed to be on that mat every day, impacting people's lives. And it's huge. That's why, again, I understand, as the consultants say, true success is working on your business, not in it. I think there needs to be a balance there. On that mat, I found confidence. On that mat, I found self discipline. On that mat, I truly discovered that I could make a difference in people's lives. So, why would I completely remove myself from that? Because everybody in the world is telling me that's the true definition of success in running a small business? No, I think not. Why would Elon Musk sleep in his office at Twitter when he bought it? Why would Warren Buffett at this age and his level of wealth still go into the office? Purpose, purpose. And when you discover that purpose, it's no longer money driven, but organically, the byproduct is, if you are a smart business person as well, you can be extremely profitable running a purpose driven company. Cool? So I hope you join us November 11th through 14th, right here in Millbury, California, 5 minutes from the San Francisco airport. 5 minutes. Now is the time to book. Save on airfare, get the discounts we're offering. They're all there. Just go to brandonblisa.com, look under events. Marco put the link there as well. Having Dave Kovar there, I think I have a really well-rounded lineup. Dave will take care of the training on Saturday, staff training on the mat. I take care of business on Sunday. On Sunday, Adam will take care of the digital media. Monday, all personal development, out in the woods, walking up on the bluff, really getting in tune with ourselves. Tuesday, Sam will start the day. And like I shared, Sam has done so much for me financially. What we've done together is powerful. And I highly recommend Sam on to everybody that's ready to do the work. Somebody said to me yesterday, can't I just give Sam the money and he invests it? That's like saying, hey, can you do the training for me in the martial arts? That is not empowering. And you being a small business owner, an entrepreneur, how much money have you blown simply giving money away to people to turn into more money for you? Not cool. Not something I'm an advocate for. Cool. And then we'll wrap up Tuesday. We'll go to Benihana's and experience that. We'll break bread. We'll cry together. We'll network together. We'll grow together and position you for the best 2024 ever, ever. 20 school owners, 4 days. I hope you choose to spend it with me. Dave Kovar, Sam On, and Adam Lodi. Cool? Hey, thank you to my sponsors. As always, Tusa. They provide all of the uniforms to the Olympians in Taekwondo. They're also now have a karate division, and I'm helping influence that. So if you're interested in the great discounts, DM me. They're going to do your screen setups for free, I think printing for free, and I think 15% off your order. I've got it all written down somewhere, and I'll be happy to share that with you if you're ready for a change. Market Muscles, I love Steven and the gang there. My Studio Tule, his wife Lynette, everybody there. I love them too. Kids Love Life Skills, Marco, Amy, Chris, Ben, Letitia. I love my team at Kids Love Life Skills. And of course, LC Accounting. Thank you for being here. I hope you have a great 4th of July weekend. Everybody, we'll be back next Friday, and hopefully you, another school owner, will choose to want to join us and come on the show. All right. I'm Brannon Beliso. This is Success Never Sleeps. Until we talk again, you go out there, live your best life.